Today's video will continue our Restarting of Civilization series, and in this episode there'll be some expansion and there'll be some collapse, with a war breaking out rather quick in this video. This yellow country, as you know, has been wanting to expand, but can they do it? With them moving in over here, in the southern part, and over here. And as you can see, this northern front has connected, slowly advancing in. With battle after battle, eventually they reach the coast. The Pink Nation launches a counteroffensive, trying to get to the location of this country's capital, and them launching in to try and take their capital. No, that's not where the capital is. I made one crucial mistake. As they get pushed back, and they actually go to the capital. Which is, if you don't believe me, right over here. As they encircle this city. They almost get encircled again, but then they decide to withdraw. Which leads to a pushback by the Yellow Country. Eventually, the Yellow Country starts to focus on clearing some of the coast. Well, the Pink Country and the Yellow Country meet over a peace treaty. A mild peace treaty, because technically the Pink Nation could push them back, so that's going to be a mild treaty. So let's see how it goes. Together. But one country decides to finally expand. It's the Green Nation. And they succeed. Well, they then decide to invade this country. And well, that's also a success. And its neighbors probably don't like this. And then they invade this Pink Nation. With the former glorious Pink Nation deciding to expand into its old pink lands that became pink. This is like burgundy red. Wait, is that what burgundy is? I don't even know. And after that success, they decide to make an offensive into this one. And they're one up here. Well, they annex them. And well, we'll come back after the peace nation. This empire. You're like, what is going to happen? Well, you won't like this. Well, their biggest puppet declares independence. Followed by their other one following suit. Yeah, they follow it. But quickly after, Japan decides to invade against this nation. And well, without realizing, a big chunk of their army in this lands get pushed back. As they cross into key territories. Of them capturing one massive city that was built over here, a few cities built over here at this point. With Japan deciding they need to do one thing. As they try to take back all of the coast. Well, they do. And then they push them back. As they think they're doing great. But during that pushback, they made one mistake. They got rid of most of their forces in this area, defending this area from, like, leaving it. And, well, they declare independence. Well, we now got a nation in this area again. With the state having an easier time now, that's more left. And, well, Japan agrees to a peace treaty with them. With their goal of forming a strong nation. The nation they gotta go with them, they invade because this nation refuses to do anything. Hence, expansion. And while this nation, seeing that, well, they're not going to be able to defend now, storms into their lands. This Green Nation has taken some lands back. And while that island nation that looks like Japan is in trouble. Well, let's go back to the Green Nation. Well, the Red Nation certainly does not like what they just did. And no, it's not the Red Nation that used to exist. Because the Green Nation really controls its former lands. And well, they push in. And then they push here to try to get to their capital right there on the coast. But at this point, they get pushed back right here. And then the armies in this area start pushing them back too. Which leads to another nation joining the war. This bluish-gray nation enters the war. Why? Because it benefits them. And well, as you can see, this area has been partitioned. Well, I don't know what empire to expand. And well, this empire, well, the Pink Empire, which is strong. This is not really pink. Why do I call this pink? It doesn't even look pink. It's too dark to be pink, first of all. If you can't, these all look, I would call them all green. But this color, that color, that color, that color, that color, that color. They're green, but they all look very different. Now explain that one. Well, that's what I call it. Light gray green, dark gray green, grayish green. That's not even close to what it is. And that's a problem with shades. You can't even tell them. But now we have a nation in, well, where South Africa would be in our timeline. Well, not too much happens there. Well, what? You may say, what's happening? Wait, what? What's happening in North America, you ask? Definitely. Well, the Purple Nation decides to invade this nation because they want to get some more southern land so they can grow food. So they expand here. And then they decide to expand north to show off their strength as they're preparing for a future war. You may say, what war? And I will tell you. But not yet. And while a unification happens, yes, under this country's leadership, this nation, that nation, and this nation decide to unite, forming a nation. You know, the nation that used to be here? Well, it's kind of back. Well, you can see this is crazy. Well, this nation, seeing the affair of other rising areas, decides to expand. This isn't fair. It's fair expanding, which brings this nation back. While this nation invades this red one. Because Everai, at this point in this area, became expansionist. Well, the gray-blue nation decides to invade here. And quickly after, they start an invasion of this country. Which they get to about there. And they're like, nothing, we're definitely going to get all this country to ourselves. Well, somebody decides to get good lands, invades it, yeah. Well, should we do something? Something happens to this nation. It fractures. For the best word use. This area declares independence, along with this area. So let's show you what this looks like. Well, it does not look good. For this nation, at least. Well, now for the peace treaties. War, well, it's about to happen. It'll involve 4 countries. With the Orange Nation deciding it's in their best interest to invade the Yellow Country. Quickly moving in. But the Yellow Country moves its people, its capital, like back here. While the Orange Country starts moving in. The Purple Country decides this is a great opportunity for expansion, along with this Blue Nation. Well, quickly the Island Nation over here decides to join. But with them on the offensive of this war, they push them back to there. Well, over here, they're pushed back to about there. As the Orange Nation was preparing an offensive over here, over open plains, which went pretty well. is this nation went for the liberation of its occupied territories by the other nation. The other nation seeks a way out of this war as they retreat. Well, this nation was decided to go south with an invasion. Well, they move up into Germany, which is Germany. Not Germany. That's not Germany. That's not Germany. That is not Germany. Well, the Orange Nation gets pushed back. But with the help of that island nation, man, just start pushing this nation back. Fair enough, that's willing for peace. And then it decides to move back up against the Yellow Nation. And while the Yellow Nation tries to kick them out before they decide to go to peace, but they notice something. The Pink Empire might come after them if they don't stop, so they decide to stop the war. So let's see the peace treaty. Orange Nation, nations on all sides of it want a partition now. But let's see, is that going to happen? But that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!